Hello, hello, and hello. So, we were talking at work about crazy customers and things that happen and questions we get and phone calls. So, I decided I was going to make a video, maybe a series of like weird retail stories. So, I'm going to be telling stories, things that I've gone through. I've been doing retail for a long time. I figured I would take some stories from some of my coworkers because they've been through some things. And if any of you guys have, stories of any kind of retail experience that you have, feel free to message me on Twitter and send me your stories and I can read them on here. But I figured I would try something new and see what I could do. So I get asked a lot of times how many balloons of certain sizes the helium tanks will blow up. So then I have to do math. So, because it'll tell you how many standard 18-inch Mylar balloons a tank will blow up. So if you get a big balloon that's like, 56 inches, then I have to do math and figure out, and I can usually tell you how many tanks you'll need to blow up the balloons that you need. But every once in a while, I get some random things. So there is a woman that was in my store the other day. She's throwing a 50th birthday party for her husband, and they are having a photo booth. Well, she wanted to fill a blow-up doll with helium. She wants to then tie weights to it so it floats next to the photo booth for pictures. I had no idea how to answer that. I don't even know if you can fill a blow-up doll with helium and it will float. I know nothing about that. But she wanted to know how many helium tanks it would take to fill up 100 latex balloons and a blow-up doll. So that was a first for me. So one of the other things that happens a lot of times is we get phone calls from people that will ask us questions on like how to do things or do we have things. A lot of times it's mostly do we have things. But once in a while we get customers that ask like the weirdest things. So there's a gentleman who will call, I think he calls maybe like once a month, and he's always having a party and he wants balloons that he wants to tie outside to his mailbox. But he always worries about the wind, and he says that he's worried. His neighbor had balloons and she tied them, she was tying them for like an hour to the thing and they kept flying away, and he wanted to know if like the best way to tie balloons to his mailbox. And I'm like, there's no real science on how to tie balloons to a mailbox. So I always ask, do you have the hole in the lid to your mailbox? Because maybe if you tie them in through that, you can make a tighter knot and they'll stay better than tying them around the pole. And I'm usually on the phone with him for like 5-10 minutes. It's just funny that he calls all the time with the same question. And I'm like, I don't know if it's a prank call. Is he really throwing a party every month and just doesn't remember? I don't know why, but we get the same call, and I'm usually the one who answers the call, or if somebody else gets it, then they'll laugh and they'll be like, hey Laura, that guy called about the balloons to the mailbox. And he's like a reoccurring customer. He just calls and asks the same question. It's the funniest thing. But I've also had I had a woman call one day and she asked me, do you have carriages? And it took me a second to wrap my brain around that question, and I was like, to sell? And she's like, no, to shop with. And I'm like, yes, of course we have carriages that you can shop with. She's like, okay, thank you, have a nice day. And she hung up the phone. And I turned to my cashier and I was like, she just asked if we had carriages. And she had the same question. She goes, and you said to sell? And I said, yeah. I said, I don't know what she was looking for. And I'm like, no, I guess I should have told her, no, we expected you to carry your stuff with you. We don't have any baskets or carriages in the store. Like, it was the most random question I've had. So we get like certain things like that. Every once in a while, there's an odd one that just strikes us. And it's always funny to relay those to the to the rest of the store, because they always get a kick out of them as well. So those are just a few of the crazy stories that I have, and trust me, I have plenty. So if you like this, if you think this is a fun idea, if any of you have ever worked in retail or customer service and have stories of your own that you'd like to share, please let me know down below. Make sure to leave a like if you're new here. Please subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, goodbye, and goodbye.